to the PTTS. Today's date is May 25th, 2023, Thursday. My name is Nang Hong Lam. The reason I'm making this video is because the THUMBDRIVE was something like someone took the THUMBDRIVE. I was at the Claremont Public Library in one of the branch, and I was using one of the computers, and someone took the THUMBDRIVE. I just went outside to take a drink, like some fresh air and a quick drink of the Jack Daniel, and just like a glove, like usually it's kind of like just like just like that, and it kind of helped get some fresh air and circulation and things like that. It does just like something that I used to do. It kind of like just step outside for like less than a minute, and then when I come back in, it was missing. So there was a librarian named Tammy. She was really being very supportive throughout the whole time. She told me that about the lost and found in the library, Tani, the librarian Tani, and also a few librarians that was also at being cooperative with what I was going through, such as it's not really exactly the cause of the THUMBDRIVE. I mean, it's the amount of work that I was rushing for months of time. It just happened like a few hours, still having this kind of like this whole, kind of just wanted to, just find a way to get it back instead of, kind of jump to any conclusion. So we're just hoping being very it's just because of the works is the amount. It's not really the cause of the THUMBDRIVE. I mean, these are affordable at the store. You can just get them. It's just the amount of works I put into it daily on it. So I just felt and it doesn't really matter. It's just a lot of them is just my autobiography, events in my life. It seems unless they're related to my life, then maybe, other than that, it won't really matter to them, just the THUMBDRIVE, so kind of in a way, we're just trying to see it as, it's really not the cause of the THUMBDRIVE, it's the content that I've been putting months of rushing. So, kind of just want to point out that to the librarian also, it's not the THUMBDRIVE, it's the amount of work for months of time and rushing to just. So but the librarian was being cooperative, and there's also a security guard who was also being cooperative the whole time. And I remember, I don't know, so I was glad about the librarian and the security guard was being cooperative with me on the missing. But there was this one person who was sitting next to me, kind of in a way, who was saying that there was a lady with 3 kids. He saw there's a lady with 3 kids, and kind of so we was making some kind of accusation. I just didn't really want to jump to any conclusion of any kind of accusation. He was the one who's sitting next to my computer, so and then he's making these accusations about this lady with 3 kids. So I just didn't want to jump to any conclusion or anything like that. I just wanted to be cooperative with, and there's a librarian and security guard was being cooperative with me. So Anyway, I took some video clip of that using this CX12 Handycam. So anyway, I talked with the lady, the Tani, about kind of like, in a way, like I left her a note also, and was saying that thinking of like some kind of flyer for reward for someone who, because it really don't really matter that much to that person, the content, because it's just like majority of them is the autobiography of my life, so kind of like, in a way. So was thinking like, so I was telling Tammy about like some kind of reward for someone who come upon it and things like that, and would return it to lost and found, things like that. So kind of like was talking like some kind of flyer about it, and the librarian was suggesting like the website that have that and things like that. It was kind of just brainstorming on ideas. It was being cooperative about it. So anyway, I just wanted to like it's just, I just felt like kind of like, in a way, it's just not like, kind of like, you know, been just pushing myself to rush for those months of time, almost like, especially this recent time, been just really rushing my schedule, trying to able to create another of the blog for my website, TRATCT.TUMBDRIVE.co, and just was just rushing to come to that, you know, maybe that I should have another blog. So that's why I was in this recent times rushing, and just didn't think this and also this morning I was waking up and have this maximum result argument. I was just saying, like, you know, like the private investigator who spent years of time, you know, trying to make claim about thievery, and then a thief like, you know, flipped the whole argument upside down and arrested the private investigator. So it's just, this morning we're just saying that, you know, just kind of like pointing out all the possible jinxes, you know, kind of like, in a way, that's one of the arguments in like my list of arguments. Jinx is one of the arguments, so I kind of point out all the different jinxes that person gets. So that, like, maximum result argument is one of the jinx. So I was saying, like, you know, but it is kind of like, in a way, because it is part of my field, like what I'm doing, like the whole versus system and the versus and arguments. That's what I've been doing for these all these years of time. So it's just part of my occupation. This is what I do, kind of like, in a way. And also I have the 199 first places in the tournament to support me. So it's just like, you know, it's part of my field, my responsibility and duty to look at all these different verses and argument and jinxes. So kind of like, it's always part of my responsibility and duty. So it's just, I mean, but like, you know, out of the nowhere, a person point out these jinxes, kind of like, in a way, you know, that would be argued as that person wanted to jinx themselves. But it's just, this is part of what my occupations for many years of time. This is what I do, kind of like, in a way. So kind of this morning, like pointing out like the whole maximum result argument is just like. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out. So pretty much, I'll be just listing all those files that I was working on in that month of time, that I saved it on that THUMBDRIVE. It's a purple color THUMBDRIVE. It's the same brand, the Lexlar brand, and all purple color. So and so I left Tani a note on it, that there will be reward for someone. But Tani said that it's part of they don't have. It's part of like the whole lost and found policy that they don't need as a reward. If they find something, they return the lost and found, and I would get it without having to pay the reward for people who found and things like that. But I just put out the note that just because just in case, because it doesn't worth that much. THUMBDRIVE is very affordable at the electronic stores. It's just the content, the amount of work daily I've been putting on it for months of time. So it's just like, and it's just all about my autobiography too. It's just like, just didn't want to go through it and retype all of it and things like that. So it's like, and especially if it's rushing, trying to create another blog for my website and just kind of rush my schedule, pushing myself to just rush through it so that it would come to that, make that announcement about having another blog and to my website and things like that. So anyway, so basically this video, I just want to point that out about. So pretty much, like I will go through what's I say, like the different files is all the files is I save in that THUMBDRIVE that I saw. It's kind of like just retype them up and things like that, and it's gonna take, so we're kind of gonna postpone the announcement about another blog, which supposedly like by now, like I'm supposed to able to make an announcement about it, but because of this incident of my someone took my THUMBDRIVE from the computer I was using in the public library, so because of that, I will have to postpone that announcement. Anyway, I'll be like listing, just kind of like retyping. First, I'll kind of like listing out so that it, I don't have to go through all that rushing again. I felt like I kind of hurt myself a lot by just pushing myself to rush on my schedule so that I can make that announcement. And so I'm not going to do that again to myself. It would be too harsh. It's just like I already did that once and that happened to me. So it's just kind of like, I'm just going to list through it and then start retyping those files and just give myself some time until I was able to make that announcement about the upcoming the upcoming blog that I'm going to be posting on my website. So anyway, so pretty much that's going to be happening. Just first kind of list through it. So kind of I would able to have a pace of the different files that I have to retype. So kind of first kind of brainstorm, like just go and list through it, and then so I could have create a pace so that I don't have to rush myself again like that recent month, like what I was doing, kind of just. So it's gonna brainstorm like the list of it, all the different files is, and then I'm just gonna retype them. And just hopefully someone return it and don't have to retype the whole thing, so just like maybe part of it and things like that. And would reward that person, don't have to go through months of time retyping it, all the different files is. Okay, so thank you for joining PTTS. Thank you. Actually, there's another thing. I don't know. I don't know, maybe so happened yesterday, May 24th, there was a person who wanna ask me something. I just wanna, I mean, I already have so much problem in my life and everything, all these arguments is, so, so kind of ignored that person. And then today the same, another person who sat next to me was trying to ask me something, and kind of just, keep it to myself. And he was asking, where I get my cam, like CX12 handy cam, it's